Okay, guys, welcome back to another episode of the Just Learn Crypto Show. Today we're sitting here with Curt Jr. from Crypto Traders Pro, and he's going to teach me about trading and tell me about what got him into trading, because obviously it's a huge part of the crypto space. I mean, it's one of the main directions that people head into when they get into cryptocurrency. So, Curt, introduce yourself and, tell us a little bit about Crypto Traders Pro and yourself.
What's up, Sean? Thanks for having me on. So crypto, I'm old school crypto anarchist guy. I got involved in, I think I bought my first Bitcoin in 2012, but I didn't, I got a Coinbase account in 2013. So that's like the earliest that I still have like a record of a purchase, but I don't remember exactly. And I didn't trade for a long time, but I'm from Chicago, which is like the king of commodities trading in the world. This is where CME Group is. It's where CBOE is. The Chicago Board of Trade still does paper trading like you see old New York Stock Exchange movies. Like, this is just a trader's city. So I know a lot of people that do it as a career, and I'm casual friends with them, but I'm actually from the marketing industry. Like, I have worked in printing most of my life.
Okay.
But I got into it basically because I watched the first bubble burst, the Mt. Gox bubble, because I started to go in hard in 2013, and then I watched it go from 1,000 to like 100 in 2014. Was like, man, I could have done a lot better for myself had I been able to see the bubble and grow my bags.
Hindsight, eh? Hindsight's a bitch.
Right. So it was like, you know what? I know people that do this professionally and whatever. So I basically just kind of casually started to trade a little bit. Now, I'm not a day trader. A day trader is somebody that's making a few trades a day to like sometimes thousands of trades a day if you've got like a good bot or whatever that you manage. But that's not me. That is white knuckle cocaine all day kind of stuff.
So let's break it down for the viewers. So what's the difference between, because I've heard these terms, day trader, swing trader, and then obviously you've just got your hodler, right?
Right. So a day trader is somebody that is sitting at, like, it is their career, and they're doing it all day. Like, they are literally, executing dozens of trades a day in order to play the volatility, because there's that sort of 5-minute volatility or 1-minute volatility, or like arbitrage trading. So trading between the spread on exchanges, and people do that all day, but you need a lot of tech. You need bots. You have to really invest to do that. And if you're not willing to, first of all, if you're not experienced and hardened and good at that kind of thing, it's a really good way to lose money.
Well, I mean, I was reading an article the other day, and it was said something like 80% of the people that got into cryptocurrency over the last 12 months, specifically towards day trading, 80% of them have lost most of their money.
Absolutely. And that's the rule. Amateur traders, I think the rule is 90%. If you're just a noob and you're like, I'm just going to get a Robinhood account, and like most people just lose money. Like, the overwhelming majority of people lose money. My recommendation is swing trading.
Okay.
So a swing trade is, if you look at the charts over the last 6 months, like,
I don't want to, man. They're ugly. I don't want to look at them.
Right. So it's been a bear market, but it's a bear market that preceded a bubble.
Yeah.
And that's fine. Like, there's money to be made on the downside too, by doing one of two things. You can play the bounce as a swing trader. So like the 6K, the first time Bitcoin hit 6K, it bounced back up to like 14, whatever. I mean, that's a really big spread to play by swing trading it. But then it took a couple weeks. So when you buy around 6K, and that's a predictable place for it to have bounced. So as a swing trader, I missed the first bounce. I did not rebuy the 6K bounce. I watched it go up to, I think it was between 14 and 15K, and then started to make its way back down. So that knowing that it bounced off 6K one time, a swing trader is looking for like that kind of 3 to 5 day period where it's going to hit that 6K zone again. And I set a bunch of buy orders between like 5,800 and 6,200. Like, I'm just going to wait. I'll wait for them to fill. They're going to fill sometime in the next 5 days.
Yeah.
Boom. All of a sudden they fill. I wake up to notifications that they filled. And now I'm waiting for, days or weeks to resell and take that profit. So that's what a swing trader is doing, is they're kind of like reading the tea leaves, and you're going to make maybe a trade or two a week, but sometimes it's not. Sometimes I'm in a play for 3 weeks before anything plays out.
So let me ask you, what are some of the factors that you look to? You mentioned reading the tea leaves. What are some of the factors you look to that are going to say Bitcoin price or any coin is going to go down, hit its support, or what are things that are going to drive it up?
So I'm a fundamentals guy. So for me, I look at like long-term utility, adoption, that kind of thing. It's the same reason people are talking about like backed is going to be the big thing. And I'm not sure that it's going to be, but it is a catalyst for something. So we'll see. But I'm looking at long-term support and resistance trends. So when Bitcoin comes back down, like I mentioned, that 6K zone is a support zone because that's where people decided to buy it back up.
Yeah.
So then for me, I'm looking at 6K. I played the bounce on 6K 3 times over the last year.
Oh yeah, it's been like a basketball game, just
hey,
dribbling on 6K.
Exactly. But right now, when I'm looking at it, like the more times you knock on support, the more likely you are to break through it also.
Mm-hmm.
So what we're doing right now is we're getting the highs. Every bounce, it's going a little lower. So it's bouncing less, it's losing energy, and it keeps knocking on that 6K, which is actually right now, as a trader, my recommendation is to actually be in Tether. Like if you have actual trading, like if you have money on exchange right now, it should be in Tether because it's an absurd, like 50-50 in every regard on the chart, except for the volume and a couple other indicators that are really saying bearish.
Yeah.
So reading the tea leaves is a lot. Figuring out like where has it bounced before, up or down, and then trying to make calculated kind of shotgun decisions about how to play them. So I tell everybody, don't try to be a sniper. You'll never pick the bottom. You'll never pick the top. Yeah. But if you play with a shotgun, you shoot for regions.
You'll hit something.
Yeah, and that's all you need. You need the meat of the trade in order to make profit.
So if someone wanted to get into swing trading, passively to create some income, grow their Bitcoin, grow their cryptocurrency portfolio, would you recommend they get started with Bitcoin, practicing and learning their techniques with Bitcoin?
People should paper trade. What paper trading is? First of all, learn, like get a mentor, get somebody that can kind of explain this stuff to you, which we do at cryptotraderspro.com.
Yep.
But paper trading is you start to make predictions based on what you think, but don't play with real money. Keep notes, keep a journal, basically. And it can be a journal on your computer, or I prefer a notebook actually, but I'll write it down and be like, okay, so 6K was here. 6K bounced the first time. How high is it going to go? And I'm calculating that. I'm doing my homework. It goes up to like 14K. So then you start to kind of draw a line and say, okay, so here's we're starting to create a triangle, and traders are obsessed with geometry.
Yeah.
So, and then it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. So then I'm guessing if I was not playing with real money, I'm saying, okay, so then I think the next peak is going to be about 10K. Mm-hmm. Let's play with it. Let's say if I were to have put in 10 grand at that zone, is it going to bounce at 10K? Because I would have taken profits at 10K. So sit and do it. I tell people, do it for 3 or 6 months. There's so much upside in this. Like you can accidentally retire 20 years early by getting in at the right time. Yeah. So 3 to 6 months of learning to practice and not lose your ass is well worth it.
Absolutely. So we've got obviously swing trading. That's more of a, you're really paying attention to the market. In terms of like longer term investments, so people that are just maybe doing the Warren Buffett strategy of investing a small amount weekly, minimizing your risk by not going all in at one certain price point. What are 3 coins that you're investing in that you're not going to touch for the next few years?
It's a good question. I struggle with this as a trader because I like to play volatility. I dollar cost average 2, and I tell everybody you should do this. If you're going to be in crypto, like mine, stake, trade, invest, do business, like do all of it, right?
Yep.
But if I were to buy a coin right now to hold on for the long term, I mean, I've been a Monero fan for a long time, so Monero is always at the top of my list because I think it has a use case no matter what. People need private currency. It's the reason cash is still king. I love my debit card and I love Apple Pay. That's all great. But, unfortunately, my government hates me because I'm a crypto guy. So, So sometimes I use cash and sometimes I use Monero for the things I need to do there. So Monero, I think, is a long-term strong buy. If you're going to hedge your bets against Monero, I think probably the best thing, and actually hedge your bets against Bitcoin also is, and I hate saying it, but XRP is the other side of that coin, right? Like,
Yeah.
if we're talking pure white market, everything's above board, everything goes through a cryptocurrency channel, or it's going through bank rails, that kind of thing. XRP, that's their domain. So I tell a lot of newcomers, like, consider 4 coins, and it's BTC, BCH, Monero, and XRP, because it kind of covers all use cases.
You're covering the superhero and you're covering the villain at the same time.
Exactly. So BTC, the long-term store of value, the underlying reserve asset, like that's cool. I have gold and silver for the same reason.
Mm-hmm.
BCH, I think, has the best bet to be kind of liquid, frictionless cash for, buy your coffee, buy your pizza. If BTC doesn't want to be that, that's fine. I'll keep BTC the same way I keep gold, and I'll spend BCH the same way that I spend cash. That's awesome. Then Monero for, when I need to bail out friends from, revolutions in South Africa or whatever the hell. And then XRP if I absolutely need to transfer fiat from here to Tokyo and whatever, and that's all fine. So those are probably my 4, and those are like really, really safe bets, because I think for the long term that's wise.
Yeah, no, it's a good strategy for sure.
Yeah.
I want to talk about exchanges a little bit. Obviously, you are pretty familiar with the different kinds of exchanges, being a trader. So decentralized exchanges versus centralized exchanges. Are you on both of them? And what are some of the pros and cons of going for one or the other?
I love them both, and here's why. There's the anarchist in me, the privacy guy in me. I'm all DEX, man. I love the Komodo barter DEX. I use Bisq. I like OpenBazaar. There's a lot of really good platforms out there. ZRX is a coin that is providing underlying liquidity across DEXs. They're trying to integrate that into a bunch of things. But the DEX is really good for somebody. It's not great for a trader so much as it's good for an investor. It's good for somebody to have your money that's private. It's like gold. If I bought gold for cash, nobody knows I have that gold. That's my store of value under the bed, that kind of thing. That's what a DEX is for, in my opinion. It's for the, like, hey, I've got 5 Bitcoin in a paper wallet that nobody knows I have, and that's my retirement plan or whatever. Whereas a trading platform is a place where you actively, like, you're keeping money there, you're using it as a tool there. I'm actually a Bitfinex fan more than anything. So a lot of people are afraid of Bitfinex, and I understand why, but it's by far the most professional platform for a trader. They've got the best tools. They've got the best liquidity on the major coins that you want to trade. And there's a lot of altcoins there too. Like, there's a lot of altcoins to play against BTC.
What would be your silver medal if Bitfinex is gold?
It would be a toss-up between Binance and BitMEX.
Okay. Now, actually, I want to touch on that really quickly. So I've heard the term like leverage trading, and that's done through BitMEX. BitMEX has the highest volume for leverage trading, from what I understand.
They do.
Recently, the founder of BitMEX actually said that he could expect a bear market for another 18 months. So, I mean, someone coming from that standpoint and that view of the market and that understanding of the market almost makes me want to believe him. And it's a crazy thing to think about. And you even brought it up on your Facebook page recently, unpopular opinion. What if this bear market stretches out a little longer? And I think it's something that people need to stop being so blindly oblivious about. People are almost getting cultish to the fact that, oh, Bitcoin, it's Christmas time, we're going to have another Christmas. Bitcoin always goes up in the winter. And no, you can't establish that kind of trend from a new technology that's only been around 10 years. You know what I mean? So, I got a little bit long-winded on that point, but back to BitMEX. Do you leverage trade, and can you explain leverage trading to me? Because I don't still fully understand it.
Sure. So a leverage trade is essentially think of it like this. So MEX stands for mercantile exchange. Okay. So what a mercantile exchange is think of yourself as standing in a room with 100 people who are all trading.
Okay.
And they're all wealthy. Like they're all people that have a lot of liquidity in their own pocket. For
It's a
me,
good room to be in.
yeah, it's exciting. But if let's say I've only got $1,000,
Mhm.
but I'm a good trader and people know I'm a good trader. So I go to a guy who's sitting there with $100,000 in his pocket. And I say, look, I think Bitcoin is going to hit $5,800 and then it's going to go back up to $6,300 before it bounces back down. And I'm so confident that I'm asking you for a loan because I only have $1,000. But if I had $10,000 to play with, I would make that money back. I'll pay you back. I'll take my profit. I'll cut you in a little bit on the profit too, and I'm going to walk away. That's the low tech version of what's happening on BitMEX. So BitMEX offers 100x leverage. So if I have $100, I actually have $10,000 that I'm playing with.
Okay.
So, but I'm not borrowing it from BitMEX. I'm borrowing it from another trader who just has liquidity there that's not in a position. So if let's say I were to stick a Bitcoin on BitMEX but not trade it, and I offer it into their lending pool, basically, I can earn profit by lending that Bitcoin to other traders. So that's what leverage is. It's basically taking out a loan in order to get into a trade.
Okay. And they trade through XBT, right? What's I've seen that term before. What's the difference between BTC and XBT?
It is, well, the reason they go by the XBT ticker, XBT is like an international, I forget who the governing body is, but there's a governing body for who creates tickers. And actually, legally, BTC's ticker is XBT.
Oh, really?
So that's what's traded at CME and CBOE because they're trading futures.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a contract. You can call it paper Bitcoin, which is kind of weird because Bitcoin's not a physical commodity, but it's one of those things where regulation has not matched technology yet. But XBT is basically just it's what people who like trade for a career like at an institution would think of. Like they don't use the term BTC. If you're like a professional commodities trader, it is XBT internationally. It's XBT in Japan and the US and everywhere else. It's guys like me and you would call it BTC because that's our ticker for it.
So XBT is more of the institutional side of Bitcoin, the paper tradable version, whereas BTC is like the genuine currency that you can own your private keys to and actually own.
Correct.
Understood. All right, man. I want to give you some time so you can shill your way to a mill, and let's chat a little bit about Crypto Traders Pro.
Sure.
Now, tell me a little bit about what it is. Tell me about where that started, that idea. And tell me about the roadmap and about, you know, what you guys have planned moving forward. And I do have your website ready to bring up and share. So we can pull it up and take a look at the website as well.
Let's do it. So Crypto Traders Pro, we're a little more than a year old now. Being an old school guy, I hated when the bubble started to come up. I hated how it invited the vipers, the scammers, the people coming out, the BitConnects, the USI Tech. Or even all the other, you know, the influencer guys saying, hey, buy my trading course. And it's just a pump and dump group and that kind of thing. So I was looking for a healthy, non-toxic place to hang out on the internet. And I found the Crypto Traders Facebook group that was started by my now business partner, Matthew. And he's an equities trader. So he did traditional stocks, a Wall Street guy. But he started in 2012 just trading stocks. And he's a pro trader, but he got into Bitcoin in 2015 or 2016. Actually, as a payout on a gambling bet, he bet something. He said he bet his paycheck that Trump would win the election like 14 months before it happened, and so he got a pretty big payout. And totally not. I'm an anarchist. It's not political, but he bet that Trump would win. But and he took his payout in Bitcoin because it was instant. And he was like, oh, that's cool. Like, oh, wow, there's trading markets for Bitcoin. So he just turned into a crypto trader because he's a trader.
Yeah.
And we met on Facebook, and he was like, hey, you obviously know your fundamentals. You know what you're talking about. Do you trade at all? And it was like, yeah, a bit. But so he taught me quite a bit, you know, from like how a professional really thinks. And we just decided to create this group and like, hey, let's teach everybody. So we put together CryptoTradersPro.com. It's got a 20-hour video course that, at the end of it, like you can start with knowing nothing, and at the end of it, be leverage trading on BitMEX with confidence. That's
Awesome.
that's the goal. We also have a signals package. We have our pro group. We got a private Discord group. It's got about 250 people there who are actively like, they're doing their own charting. They give it to us. We grade it. We post them all privately. Like, hey, here's what, student Dave did, and here's what we like about it, and here's what we think would be better. Here's maybe what he missed. But then, there's a whole bunch of like, business opportunity stuff. So we have like an entrepreneurs board. So like, hey, I'm also a business owner. I want to accept crypto. Let's make that happen. We have boards for mining and staking and other ways to make profit. So we're not like laser beam focused on trading, although it is the meat of what we do. It's not everything, and it's important to have like real world utility as well. So we push to kind of get everybody integrated with like the temptation is the juiciness of trading, but then we bring you in and we teach you basically how to be like a real life crypto savage in every way possible.
Nice. Yeah.
And that's the goal. But we are actually professional traders. I'm in a trade at almost all times. And we're working on them. We're working on them together as a community.
Well, let's go on a little trip to your website.
Yes, sir.
I'm just going to pull this up here. So yeah, I want to take a look at the website, and then maybe I can have you walk me through it and show me some of the features. Sure. Sorry, I'm just stalling while I figure this crap out. There we go. No All right. So Crypto Traders Pro, nice looking website. I love you guys' logo.
Thank you.
So where should we start out here?
So if you want to just kind of scroll down, like our homepage is got a lot of the basic info, kind of explains what we got here. So,
okay, so you guys have a watch list here.
The watch list is coins that we're not necessarily calling as signals, but they're things that have some fundamental news or something going on over the week. So keep an eye on them. If you're interested in getting into like what may be a riskier trade, the watch list is a really good place to start.
Okay, so it's kind of like a blog board or like a newsletter almost. Like you put out like news about
correct
stuff that you guys think it's worth watching.
Yes, and then we've got trading signals. Our trading signals are not just hey buy BAT at this number. It's literally break down like here's the zone we would buy BAT in. Here's why. Here's where we would not buy if it does this before it does that. Do not buy. But it's usually a couple of paragraphs. It's long, extrapolated out. Here's how to set a stop loss. Here's where we would take profits. Here's why we're picking it right now. Like explaining, this is the support zone we're looking at. So our signals are very thorough, and a really intuitive person could kind of learn our general trading strategy just by looking at how we signal. And so that's a really solid thing that I think we do better than anybody. And I should also say, cumulatively, our signals over the year are up about 45% against the market, which is down about 85% for the year.
Awesome. So obviously anyone that's been involved in Crypto Traders Pro, they're definitely getting a lot of value out of this.
Absolutely.
And then you guys have your crypto trading course. Now, this is really exciting. Obviously, I'm developing a course myself. I understand how much time and work goes into this. So, you guys must be really happy to finally have this course out. And how long has it been out? And maybe you can give me a breakdown of the course.
It's been out about 9 months. It took about 2 months to plan and 3 months to record. Matthew deserves like 90% of the credit on the whole thing because he's our lead trader. So a lot of this stuff is out of his, like this is his system.
Okay.
And really it's fascinating. Like, as someone who had been trading for a while, I was like, yeah. Well, I watched the course and I'm like, oh man, that's brilliant. And that's brilliant too. And I'm going to add that to my thing. He's just a really, he's a really analytical guy, but he also communicates it very simply. So the trading course itself, it's broken into, I think it's 9 or 10 videos. It's about 20 hours of content overall. And literally goes, you can see the bullet points here. It's how to become a crypto trader, how to set up, like, first of all, how to like secure your things properly. Here's how to take profits, put them into cold storage. Here's how to, keep your private keys literally private, that kind of thing. And then it's, the introduction, the candlestick patterns and chart patterns is the real basics of it. And then we start to get into market psychology, which is something that I don't see other trading courses ever really talk about.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like a trade is me literally every trade. I assume I'm smart and you're dumb. To the person that I'm selling to, like, I believe that I am selling for profit and you are going to lose your shirt. And that's a market psychology thing that you have to understand about the market itself. The fifth video, fundamental analysis, is a lot more about, it's more applicable to a long-term trader, or a long-term investor rather, which we touch on, but just explaining like why is a project like, BitConnect trash while something like, say, Monero is all positive. So it's kind of how to spot that. How do you spot a good team? How do you spot something that is just being pumped by developers and scammers and that kind of thing? Then advanced technical analysis. That's
the funny thing about that what you were just touching on is that it seems so obvious to me, and like you would think it would just be common sense that most of these things are scams, and yet it blows my mind daily how many people get lured into these things. And it makes me angry, but it makes me sad at the same time. Like how bad must your financial house be that you're falling for a scam like that's so obvious? And like, I think it's really important that people like me and you and Ken Bozak are putting a stress on helping people avoid these scams, because
for sure
it's, I mean, on the one hand, it's like survival of the fittest, we can't have a warning label on every single thing in the world. But on the other side of it, it's like, God damn it. Like we gotta be able to provide a tool here, a resource to help people get through that. So that's a really, I think, important part of your course.
And that's what I say about a lot. It's like, traveling carnivals have made money for 200 years in this country because of scammers, right? Yeah. Just throw the ball in the bucket. It's that simple, and it's like, well, it's not that simple. The whole thing is designed to screw me. And that's something that's really obvious to somebody that's paying attention. But if if you don't have any concept of economics or any concept of money management, I mean, when you look at like, who's the typical person that invested in BitConnect? I mean, quite frankly, it's a lot of people from the hood who don't even understand the basics of money anyways, let alone the technology or any of this stuff. And that's, I mean, look at who the spokespeople were for BitConnect. They were all right. They were all people from the hood too. Yeah. So that's who they were appealing to. Like, hey, give us your money. And I mean, that's what's so infuriating about it for me, is that they screwed people who didn't need to be screwed.
Yeah.
And it's just, so that's, I mean, that was why we put that into the course, is like, hey, here's how to look for, like, here's what a legit white paper should look like. And here's what a real development team should be doing. Like, if they have a flashy website, that's actually a bad thing, Yeah,
fair enough.
So, yeah. So in getting into the rest of the course here, we got advanced technical analysis, which would take forever to talk about if we were to talk about it here. Combining your fundamentals and technicals. And then episode 8 is actually the best episode, in my opinion. So the vicious pre-trade checklist is, before you enter a trade, you have all of your steps figured out. Like, here's when I'm going to buy and how I'm going to buy. Here's how many places I'm going to buy at. Maybe I'm going to shotgun approach. Maybe I'm going to make 15 purchases in a position. Here's when I'm definitely going to cut my stop loss. Here's where I'm going to definitely take profits. And it's really important to kind of have that figured out. Like, look, I intend to make 25% on this play, and I'm going to kill it at that number. Even if it looks like it's going to moon, I'm cutting it, because that's the safe way to do it and consistently make and keep profits. So that's that. Then developing your strategy is kind of taking everything you've learned and do what works for you, because people's own psychology is different between person to person. And then episode 10 is a bunch of live trades. So it's literally it's Matthew shorting IOTA from the peak and making a butt ton shorting IOTA. And then it's the Litecoin trade from something like $75 all the way up to, I think he sold out at like $250-ish, or yeah, $250. So he didn't get like all of that trade, but it was a huge trade. But just going through just the examples and really just saying like, hey, here's my strategy. Here's me actually trading with my strategy. I recorded the whole position over the course of weeks, and here, watch me make $150,000 in 2 weeks. Like, this is literally me doing it live.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah, it is.
And so there's a lot of value in that course. Do you guys have, is it at a set price, or do you guys have different modules? Can people buy in monthly or annually? How does that work?
Currently, we're talking about perhaps switching to a monthly subscription, all of that. But either way, the trading course itself will be a lifetime thing. The cost of it right now is $397. We only accept crypto. We accept Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, and I think we're going to be accepting Dash over the next couple of weeks. We're working on integrating that as well. But $397, and you get access to this forever. It's a lifetime thing. You have it. You can rewatch it 50 times if you need to. So yeah, for what it is, I think it's a huge opportunity there. It's not cheap, but it's not expensive either.
Yeah, but it seems like you get what you pay for. I mean, yeah. Once you have trading under your belt, I mean, you're making that money back in a single trade, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So in terms of community, you guys have an amazing Facebook group. I'm very active in your group. You guys are consistently putting out engaging posts every single day. Who kind of runs the Facebook group? Who's in charge of that stuff?
It's me and Matt. We do most of the work on Facebook. We've got like 8 mods too, who are all really good. They're names you would know in the community, but they want to be anonymous. But just good people trying to cut out bad content, because obviously there's people trying to post affiliate links and scams and shit too. But they do a good job. We got really good mods, but it's primarily me and Matt running the Facebook group. And then we have a guy in the Philippines who's awesome, who does like our Twitter and Instagram and posts our stuff at Crypto Traders News. And that's kind of a collaborative effort with him. So he's something of a virtual assistant, but he's like a savage. He's great.
That's awesome, man. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely, it takes up a lot of time moderating and running these social media platforms. So
yeah, it sure does.
You get to a point where you do have to bring on help, and it's both an exciting thing and a scary thing at the same time. So it's a good sign that you guys are at that point. Sure. Now let's talk quickly before we wrap things up about events. I've seen you active at a few events. What are the things that you love about events? And where do you think also that they're screwing up and they can improve?
So I used to go to a lot of events back in the day, and I took about a 3-year hiatus. I stopped going in like 2015, 2016. I really hated the scaling debate. Bitcoin, in my opinion, is not really defined by anybody's opinion of it. So I was a big fan of the Bitcoin Cash split. In so much as I'm more of a Bitcoin Cash supporter, but I'm a fan of people going their own separate ways and working on their own projects. So I'm not anti-BTC, but all of that really kind of soured me on the community stuff for a while, until I met Tracy, who runs Untraceable. And Untraceable events really, and this is not a plug, I'm not paid. There's not like Untraceable events just kick ass.
Absolutely.
And the difference between them and like say Consensus is like Consensus in New York City is like a $3,000 or $4,000 ticket unless you know the right people. And I know some of those right people, but I also don't like that crazy rent seeking for that kind of thing. Like crypto should be accessible to everybody. So like an Untraceable event is typically $300, something like that. Like, and they're awesome.
Yeah.
Whereas Consensus is $3,000 or $4,000, and in my opinion, they're not as good as Untraceable events.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. You're the 4th person in the last week that I've done a video with and talked about events, and you're the 4th person to mention Tracy and Untraceable. So obviously, huge shout out to Tracy. If you're watching this, like, people love what you're doing. Keep it up. And Tracy's actually helping us out with Satoshi's Ball that we're throwing in Ottawa. Awesome. So I'm going to shamelessly plug our event real quick. Sure. But I mean, same thing. Me and Ken have been to dozens and dozens of these conferences, and we've seen what works and we've seen what hasn't worked. And we've picked up on the things that we enjoy about them, like, actually being able to network and have great conversations with these exhibitors, and not being interrupted by speaking. And obviously the VIP after parties are a huge thing. It's you get your initial, your meet and greet and you're rubbing elbows with your tie on, and then, the tie comes off, and that's where a lot of the real business happens.
So for sure.
So we're doing an event in Ottawa, December 15th. I'm really hoping that you guys can make it out to the event. I know it might be hard coming up to Canada, but
we intend to. We're trying to work it out. We've got some stuff on the schedule, but we're seeing if we can make that happen. We would really, really like to be there.
It'd be great if you could make it out, man. But what we did was we kind of took two things, and we're focusing on these two things for the conference. The networking, we're actually going to, as opposed to most conferences, they're trying to get 50, 100 sponsors, fill the place with booths. You know what I mean?
Right.
Charge $5,000, $20,000 for a company to come and set up a 10 by 10 booth. Screw that. We're not doing that. We want to have 10 to 20 quality exhibitors. We're going to set up a speed dating system so that when the people come in, they are stuck at a booth for 5 minutes, where you can, the booth is going to be able to present their company, present their product, present their service, have a few minutes of Q&A, and then there'll be a buzzer or something, and you're going to move on to the next booth. But the reason I want to put this in and set this system up is I went to a conference. I'm not going to name it. They did a really great job for 90% of it. But they had every single booth right beside each other touching. They had so many people that, and most of these booths only had one person working at the booth. So you're talking to someone, you're interested in the project, you're standing there, people are lining up behind you, you're waiting for your moment to talk to the exhibitor, and then at one point you just say, screw it, and you walk on to the next booth. And I mean, it's a huge missed opportunity for the guests to learn about the project. I find it's borderline ripping off the exhibitors. I mean, they're missing the opportunity to explain their company. So we're gonna find a way to solve that problem.
Very cool.
The second thing that everybody loves is the VIP party. So with our event from 7 to 9, it's going to be this speed dating networking event. And then from 9 to 3 a.m., we've got 3 DJs coming in. We have a VIP section. There's going to be a buffet for everyone coming out. So no matter if you buy a general admission ticket or VIP, you're still going to get fed. You're going to have a bar available for you. But the VIP section, as you know, is where you're supposed to be. That's where you got it.
Absolutely.
I mean, all of the influencers, all of the exhibitors are going to be in that VIP section, having a couple drinks. That's when you're going to get those really cool conversations and those good opportunities to meet these people. And then we're going to have better food, bottle service in the VIP section. So definitely that's where you're going to catch me and Ken. We're going to be hanging out in that section. So that's going to be a wicked event, man. But I think, you know what, man, let's wrap this up. You shared so much information, man. I really appreciate it. Anyone who watches this video, why don't you tell them how to get connected with you and Crypto Traders Pro?
So CryptoTradersPro.com is the hub of it all. If you Google Crypto Traders Pro, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Medium, everywhere else. But our Facebook community is the best kind of free entry point. Join up, answer the questions, or you will be rejected by our mods, unfortunately, just to make sure you're not a bot. We delete about a dozen Nigerian scammers a day. So please, please answer the questions. We will let you right in, and it's a healthy community. But check out the website. If you want to buy anything, we're working on setting up Sean and Just Learn Crypto, who are guys we really like and respect. So much so that my wife and I were the Bizarro World version of Sean and Ken for Halloween.
Funniest thing I've ever seen. I didn't do anything for Halloween this year. I stayed home and I was working on stuff, and that made my night.
I'm glad. So they're good guys, and there's a lot of good people in crypto, but there's not a lot of good guys that are trying to do business for the regular person, and that's what Just Learn Crypto is about.
Yep, absolutely.
So we want to set up Just Learn Crypto to kind of be an affiliate member and sell our stuff a little bit too, so you can buy Crypto Traders Pro stuff wherever available. But yeah, just simple. Our watch list is $27 for the month. Our signals packages are cheap. Our big pro bundle, if people want to join our private paid kind of think tank group, that's $3,000 for the year. But it's I don't know anybody that hasn't made that money back by being in the group. Like the group has done exceptionally well because it's people that care. So if you want to hang out with 250 people that are engaged in crypto business, high level trading, all of that stuff, that's where we offer it. So cryptotraderspro.com is the place to really get into both the trading and the business side of the cryptocurrency universe.
Awesome.
So that's where you find me. Find us there.
Awesome. Find them. All right. Well, listen, thanks for being on the show, buddy. Guys, I'm going to put comments and links in the comment section so that you guys can get in touch, follow Crypto Traders Pro. Everything's going to be down there. Hit subscribe, follow them, guys. They have a YouTube channel as well with amazing content on it. And as always, have a great day and stay crypto, guys.
Bye, everybody.